Hey, Cody.
John DiMarco, thank you for having me on your show,
welcome
dude.
to the, this is the podcast about nothing, but we're just doing this for a test.
Well, I got something to talk about.
What do you want to talk about today?
Well, we're both videographers.
Yeah, we are.
And we both done things for YouTube.
We
I
have.
think this is going to be on YouTube.
It is. That moves up by itself. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
So,
Yeah.
why did you start putting videos on YouTube?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Great question. Let me think. Let me tell you the answer. So, I decided to put I put the videos on YouTube because
Started making my YouTubes.
yeah, I started making my YouTubes. Well, I started YouTube in like 2011, right? So if you want to go back that far,
Is that your foods video?
yeah, Food That Kills. So if you want to go back that far, it was because we just wanted to be like Epic Mealtime. So that's why it was Food That Kills, Epic Mealtime, and Epic Mealtime was big at the time.
I think we did our own little things, but I don't know if we filmed them or not. But yeah, we tried to make all that crazy.
And we tried to do a weekly thing, like every Tuesday, because that was Epic Mealtime scheduled Tuesdays, right? So we're like every Tuesday we're gonna do
It was on Tuesdays.
It was a Food That Kills every Tuesday, but like the amount of sheer work that goes into a YouTube video, which you don't know about.
Oh my god!
And like,
especially if you never really made videos before that.
Well, we were making videos, but we weren't as creative editing. I would like where I was in 2012 doing that stuff, 2011 doing that stuff, to now where I am now. My editing is like 100% different. Like,
I would hope so.
No, yeah. But like, but also it was the idea of like we need to film this thing on this day at this time and try to get everyone involved because there's 4 of us
Showing up to an organized thing.
Yeah, that was tough to do, and then trying to get it done by Monday, right? Like, or at least Tuesday. And be like, all right, it's up. It was just a fucking pain.
And I remember that time you would upload a video and like the title meant nothing. You're like, what do we even? I don't know. We'll name it freaking.
Well, we always try to name it to what the video was about. So like the Great American Burger was a Great American Burger.
Right, yeah. So you were naming things like the Great American Burger. I guess that could work now for certain stuff, but it's like we weren't even just those were actually good names. My names were just dumb shit like Cody and Adam.
Well,
messing around. Cody and Adam, April 2010.
So I have a theory. This is gonna be funny. So we made the Great American Burger. Our first episode, it was 3 burgers with hot dogs on it, chips, bacon, chili, like a whole bunch of shit, right?
Epic Mealtime shit.
Yeah, some Epic Mealtime shit. You can watch. It's still on YouTube. I can link it. I'll link it below. I'm actually gonna put this as separate too. We'll upload this on the YouTube as well. But
we need it. We need
more content. Definitely need it. Yeah, content's king. But anywho, a few years later, when I moved out here, Carl's Jr. made an All-American Burger.
Gasp.
Yes, and it's almost the same exact thing to ours.
They got chips.
They have chips as well.
They've got chips.
And then they put hot dogs in there too. Yeah.
They went and got chips.
They did. Like I have to like look at ours again and look at theirs and go like there's a big comparison of like it's very similar. But yeah, I digress on that one. It's just it's just fascinating that like we never got credit for. I feel like someone from Carl Jr.'s goes, "Oh, what's this All-American Burger?" And like they saw,
bro, it could have happened. That's highly likely, right? It's highly likely. I'm noticing like obscure thing, like and then like some corporation will be like, "Oh my god."
I'm waiting for like a Reddit post that I found like, "Holy shit, they're talking about Food That Kills." Oh my god, or something happens, right? Like,
because you guys got some views on those, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. And then like we started Ask a Fat Guy also, which was Mitch's baby.
Right. Oh
so that was fun.
Yeah. Those videos are great.
But I mean, we did that just to get we wanted to be partners. That was the whole thing. It's like, oh, we want to be YouTube partners.
Oh, so you were actually doing it with a goal, not necessarily like, oh, me and my friends make goofy.
No, it was a goal to get YouTube partner.
That's what I thought.
And then to make money. And we made like I think our first $100 was like a year and a half after the fact. Of like becoming.
What'd you spend it on?
I think I split it with everyone, or I just
got food.
Like, or be like, let's use it for a video, but like there wasn't.
We made it, boys.
Yeah, but like again, a year and a half later, I got another $100. So like every year and a half, I made $100. But now we're not a partner anymore, so it's like you don't get anything from that. What was it like? But now I'm making YouTube like videos, like what I'm doing now with my DiMarco 3 channel or just DiMarco channel is I'm making videos where I want to talk about my journey as a filmmaker or DP, like just the trajectory of where I want to go in life and stuff like that. And I feel like it's more of a therapeutic thing where I can just talk about what I'm feeling and getting out there. Like, cause I've seen like, YouTubers like David Morfeld, he comes to mind. He's an Orlando-based DP, and there's other ones too, like the Cranky Cameraman, stuff like that. Like those guys go, hey, today I'm on a job, and this is what's going on, and like they talk about like their job. And I mean, I have a job, so I'm not trying to bring in my actual job. I'm keeping it separate. So I'm trying to do. So I don't want to really infuse them. I want to keep it separate, if that makes sense.
I would keep that separate.
Yeah, so I don't want to because I'm not. And when I do freelance jobs, I'll show the freelance jobs, and when I do that stuff and all that malarkey, but no, I'm trying to talk about like my journey. I think that's because I think everyone can like kind of maybe relate to that a little bit. Like you've seen like the 2 episodes I did.
I mean, that's how we all learned how to make videos and how to edit and everything, was watching other people and document their stuff. And that's kind of, you see like the whole industry shape, like kind of like the underground videographer stuff. Like, okay, like somebody learned something, they make a YouTube video about it, and then like 50,000 people start doing that same thing, and then they're making so it's like, I don't know, it's I feel like I've been sitting on the sidelines, kind of watching what these videographers are putting on YouTube, and then I'm like, okay, so I got to do that too, and I changed my ways. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Let's show what we're doing, and then maybe people will start biting our style. People start learning a few things from us, and I agree, because it's like I've been watching it this whole time. It's like, let me take a part of this. Yeah,
because it's like also like there's an opportunity that someone's gonna come across your stuff, and then maybe you'll get like hired as well too to work a freelance gig here, whenever it is. But also selfishly, and I'll say this, I'll cut this, but like I really want to work with brands, and I want to like review products, and like, because again, if I'm making we're all low budget filmmakers here, right? But if I can get like a brand, I'll use this as an example. I'm not saying I'm doing this, but I look at like Anchor, right? They have a solar, an electrical generator, right?
Okay.
And now I'm like, if I had an electrical generator, I can take the van, right? And I can bring that generator with me, and now we don't use house power. Okay, let's have like, I can plug in lights and stuff like that. I can use that now and sell that as a service and be like, hey, here's my rate because I have all this stuff. You know what I mean? And on top of that too, it's like I want to make a video about that and show real world use cases, because again, I feel like I see
let people know like what the options they have today.
Because I feel like whenever I see those review videos, it's like, oh well, I took it out in the woods and I shot a whole thing and I edited it too. It's like, okay, but in real world uses, you're buying this for a film set most likely. You want to buy you want to use it for a film set, because again, you don't want to buy a Honda generator, so a lot of money and like gas. You want to try to be quiet as well. You have to put that like a million yards away or something like that. But like, okay, like let's use this practically on a set and talk about it and like see how it really held up. You know what I mean?
Real world test,
because LEDs don't take a lot of light, like wattage.
Oh my god, it's so different now.
It's so different. Like your house holds about 1,800, I think, like normally, right?
Yeah.
So like the amount of LED lights I have wouldn't burn out a circuit, but at the same time, like if anything happens to that, the Anchor, the generator, at least I know. You know what I mean? At least I have it's not like I'm like, oh shit, we're out of it. We can just use house power then. But like,
and it's
all about that. Yeah.
We gotta document. That's another part of it. So it's like we've already been filming things our whole lives and thinking about that process, but now when you add the extra process of filming yourself, filming, and you're like, whoa, damn, this is a different world.
And for you, I think it's different because you filmed yourself when we worked for John, and you're a lot more easier on camera. Me, I don't like being in front of camera a lot of times. Even if you look at Feed That Kills.
That was my first time being on camera like that, though. I mean, that wasn't.
Yeah, but you become natural. You were natural though to it. I feel but you have a presence that was. Yeah. I feel like I'm just if someone looked at me, they're like, this guy's a mean motherfucker.
My mom had me do drama.
Yeah. Okay.
When I was in school, so I was like acting on stage and stuff like that against my will, but
that makes sense.
Yeah, got the heebie-jeebies out there.
But I mean, that's shit, man. That's where you start, though. Like a lot of people start learn from that.
But even like on camera presence aside, it's like you're making 2 videos at once.
Yeah.
And you're thinking about 2 things at once, 2 storylines at once. You're like, okay, this is telling this, and then you're breaking the 4th wall, and you're like, okay, now I'm telling a story about how I'm telling this story. And it gets to be some real Inception shit.
Yeah, and your mind kind of just.
Yeah, and then like I'll sit down to think about how to edit all this. It's like, okay, now how do I tell this story?
Luckily, at least we could. I was editing a lot of those videos towards my time there. I was editing those, so it was like easy to talk to you about the things I needed, or
when like I'm right in the room with the talent, you can be like, hey, what's
like maybe write it this way because or something like that because the edit would work better, something in that nature. But like, I don't like being in front of the camera, so it's also doing this is just more therapeutic to me being comfortable on camera. So hopefully, with every episode that I put out there, even with this, I hope I'm more comfortable on camera and I come off,
because that's how we reach the people we need to reach. We can't go walking into every single business.
No, you can't.
In person, being like, hey, what's up, man? You trying to get some videos?
And I think honestly too, like, you just want to be real with the people too. You just want to be as honest as possible, because if you're not, like, you're faking it till you're making it. But I don't want to do that. I just want to, like,
but people,
it's the struggle, right? People like the struggle too. People will either root for you or be like, this screw this guy, right? So like, why would I want to watch like someone who made it, in a sense, more or less, than someone who hasn't?
And then afterwards, they're just like, oh, we're playing with this $1 million piece of gear that you can't touch.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, like, that's cool and all. Like, I would love to touch that $1 million piece of gear, but like I can, at least if people see where I got to get to that $1 million piece of gear,
show them how to get up out the trenches.
Yeah, and like,
bro, I love it.
But also too, it's like, I think like there's a way of looking at things too, where people think we're gatekeeping or gatekept from making movies too. This might sound like it's different, but I think it has a relation to what we're talking about, right?
I'm hearing.
Okay, so like we have this, people are like, oh, well, we gotta talk to this person, this person, this person. It's freaking easy to now make a film, right? It's easier than ever.
It's almost too easy.
It's too easy. You can put your stuff on Tubi, basically. Like, you have to, like,
we love a Tubi movie.
But to get back to that, like, the $1 million movie, you have to look at, or the $1 million like the piece of gear.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere, right? So you have to start small and humble and shit like that, and like kind of just be real with people, and still be real with people throughout the way. But I don't know.
It's cool to look at a video that they're like, oh, check out this cool new thing that you can't touch, and it's like, okay, that's kind of like a little entertainment, though. But when it comes to like figuring out the craft, seeing what the rest of everybody else is doing, that's not what we're watching. We're watching people with the A7S from 2015, you know what I mean, banging stuff out, or like, oh, here's a budget gimbal, or which AI editing is going to give you the best bang for your buck.
That's funny, because we're going to be doing a video on that. Like, that's...
no, I'm so excited, because I don't know if I'm getting off track here, but it's like, before we would have to... we were editing for YouTube, right? We're having those conversations in the office late at night, sometimes midnight. We're like, oh, is this gonna hold retention? Do people even care about this topic? Is this even, should we say this? Should we say that? Should we say it like this? Where now we're gonna see what these services, if they can just do all that for us.
Because you know what, too, like,
that's life changing.
What I learned also, it's like at that particular place we were up at till 12 o'clock at night sometimes, doing that stuff. The idea of putting out so many edits of a short is just mind-boggling. I think we were there, 18 in one day.
Yeah.
But I was also just mentally...
I think you touched 20 something.
Oh, did I?
Time. Yeah,
I don't
you
even
did
remember.
Like 23 in a day.
But again,
25.
I touched 20 something in a day. I was just trying to figure out what to do, and I didn't know what to do, because it was like, how do you make shorts? Like, I was taking... It was
movies, like random editing with no
direction.
Like,
right. So, like, to talk about to kind of transition here and talk about the first vlog I did. Right. Mm-hmm. I, put that into Opus. I'm using talking about this in general. Put that into Opus. I saw what shorts I needed. I'm like, okay, these are 8 shorts I have. Now I have less pressure to create my own short. So I still made, I think, 1 or 2 shorts from it that I felt pretty strongly about. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I know I want this as a short and this as a short. So it kind of relieves the pressure of like saying, oh, I need to make a shit ton of shorts from this one short, like, long form video.
And that are most likely going to get canned by the end of the day.
And also, like, you don't need to like do $1 million for one video. Like, it's great to have 8.
You can, but it's like how many actually entertaining clips are you gonna get out of this? Like, it's like you only get like even when you're scrolling, like all the curated stuff you're scrolling from, it's only like 1 every 30 is like a video you're like, wow,
that's awesome.
I might keep, like videos that keep you scrolling.
And even that too, it's like you look at it and you go, like, okay, short form is great, but I want to go back to long. Like, you want to go back to long form anyway. You want to bring them to the long form to get them interested in the long form piece of it. And even that, like, look at what YouTube does too. I think they still do the thing where you can take the clip, you can make a clip from that long form, and it'll track it back. So, like, what should you do, right? Like, at the same time, it's like you make all this short form content, and people want short form content, but at the same time, but in the end, you want them to make, you want that long. I don't know.
I guess it's just what platform you want to be
noticed on.
Yeah, you want to be noticed on where most of your people are on. Like someone who's like, say like a 20-year-old girl who's like fashionable and like big on TikTok and all that kind of stuff. Like, might have a really hard time. Like, if she had to stick to YouTube, and like the rules of YouTube and long form content, might not have ever had a career in the fashion blogging stuff.
But the funny thing is now TikTok wants longer form content. I think it's like they're aiming for that.
That makes sense. Sorry, excuse my.
That's okay.
Clear. That makes sense. I mean, people are posting 20-minute TikToks.
And like I think you can post like up to 10 gigs or something like that, or 2 gigs to 10 minutes or something like that now on TikTok if you go through. And it's funny, like people like talk about going through the phone to do this shit. I've done all my TikToks mostly through the desktop app.
Yeah, I just signed up for the business center and they were like, hey, try TikTok on your desktop.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I've done that since I did the Chasing the Frame TikTok page. Shout out to that. And that's how I got my 1,000. I think that's how I made my 1,000 followers easier, is because I would just edit from Premiere, export all that things, and have all my files instead of me sending all that stuff to my phone or downloading from Google Drive and making sure.
Because that's what I've been.
It always makes a duplicate.
You got
right?
2 of them saved.
You got 2 of them. So like there they are. Now I can upload each one, do the stuff I need to do, and then go from there. And I scheduled it out that way. And like that's also another thing people need to realize too, is like, you can put your content out at any time, but the probability of it being the good time is like slim to none. So
it's never going to be a good time.
There is a good time. They actually, like, people think like, oh, I'll post it, it's going to get 1,000 views. Like, like they think it's going to go viral because they, are posted it
at 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m. or like 7 a.m. in the morning on a Friday. But it's like, I was telling someone this at my job. I'm like, I always think about East Coast time. I think about the East Coast and like what time they wake up. So if I want to post something for, 6 p.m. my time, I got to do that for 3 p.m. our time, because by the time it's 6 p.m. there, it's 3 p.m. here, and then the 3 p.m. people are going to get off at 6 p.m. You're hopefully getting the views to go up, right? But anywho, like I found online, the best time to post short times is 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, I believe, and then like
6 p.m. 10 p.m.
Yep, and I tested this out so far I did it like a couple times, and I got some views. I got
like more than
what I thought. Yeah, like because I would post at random times at night or something like that, and I would get no views, 1 view, nothing. And it's like, well, how the hell is this not working? And I tried a couple at 6 o'clock, and then one at 10, and it worked. So I was like, okay, 200 views, I'm cool with. I'm not like asking for a lot of views, as long as I'm getting some results. That's what's better. And even TikTok, there's certain times you should be posting on TikTok on Monday through Friday as well. So I always. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. Yeah, everybody's got scrolling habits. And
even like if you look at the YouTube schedule too, like YouTube tells you to post between 2 and 4 p.m. like Tuesday through Friday or something like that, right? But it makes perfect sense if you post on a Tuesday, because if you post end of day Monday, let's say, Tuesday's the day it starts peaking, right? So Monday it's going to be like this, and then Tuesday it starts going up. Now it's seeing an elevation peak.
And then you're going into the Friday peak viewing times with some momentum.
Yep, exactly. So like the optimal day probably would be Monday night, like early Monday, Monday going into Tuesday probably, if you think about it. Because if you just do that, then you maybe have the British people, not British people, sorry, that's really bad. The Europeans, right, who are waking up at, whatever time it is. Because like look at Mr. Beast or Linus, they sometimes post like really early in the morning. It's like, that's really early.
Yeah. What market you trying to hit?
Yeah, what market you trying to hit, right? Like, who's it marketed for? And I think that was the problem with where we worked last. Also, there's also no consistency in the post, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and it was a lot of scrambling, trying to trying to just desperately find what works.
Yeah.
Instead of like, and all of that done by human power at the same time. So it was like we're manually editing all these shorts. Most of them are going to get thrown away. Yeah. And manually testing all these different times of posting. Yeah. We were posting every hour on the hour.
Yeah.
To see what hit best.
And even that didn't work because I tried that and it didn't work for me. And that's when they're saying YouTube Shorts need it like to be fed, right? So you need to like feed YouTube Shorts, but it wasn't doing anything. It was weird because like I tried a 24-hour thing every 15 minutes on YouTube and it didn't work at all. Like and that was like 96 shorts in a day.
Yeah, no, that burnt me out, and that made me want to never podcast. That made me want to not do anybody's podcast, not like make a podcast for anybody. But now I don't mean to keep bringing it back to the AIs. But,
yeah, go ahead. I think that's fine to circumvent back to go back to that.
Seeing how these two pan out, I'm almost thinking like, dang, you could start like a really easy business where you sell podcasting services for people. You buy one of these, one of them, one of these, one of them.
And we're going to see like what the difference is too, which is going to be very fascinating.
Yeah.
How the AIs cut with 3 cameras and how they cut with a single camera. So that I'm really curious to see what happens.
You don't have to be, because like I was like, before, if you live switch it in the room, then that you don't have to edit.
Yeah, which is another thing I wish I kind of would do because I also like the thing is you can get
that feel, right?
Yeah, that feel,
human feel of like.
But there's also like Pod AI or something like that. There's one that cuts the podcast for you on the whole timeline. It'll cut to each angle and stuff like that. So it's like
that's true. And Adobe Premiere now will remove your ums and ahs.
Yeah. So like there's a whole bunch of things in that nature. But I kind of like the ums and ahs sometimes because it feels just authentic.
Yeah.
Like I mean.
It's like if it's a long podcast, I don't want it to sound like robots talking.
Yeah,
you don't
like this. We're not robots.
Exactly. But it's like, but if you have, if you find your right AI, to turn long form into short form, like bro, like the deliverabilities you have on, and you could just have a 1-room studio and people just come and do your thing.
The only bad thing is though, like you're paying for that stuff monthly, so it's another expense onto that. So you have to make sure you're making that money back.
How much did it cost to have us sit there and edit shorts all day long and edit TikToks all day long and do all that stuff? But it was like $100,000 a year.
It was
not more.
It was, but like at the same time, okay, here I'll play devil's advocate though too. It's like. Well, I won't play devil's advocate. It's not more or less like saying this. It's saying if we had a plan of what we wanted to do and like that person knew what they wanted to do with the shorts and how we wanted to present the shorts.
That's true.
Because again, it was like, here's spaghetti. Let's throw it to the wall, see what sticks. And it was me I was trying to do motivational things through movies. So I'm like, the only thing I really know is movies, right? Mm-hmm. And I love my movies. So I was trying to find those inspirational things that could at least be inspiring or at least kind of relate to entrepreneurship. But like, there's not much to relate to.
You can only do Wolf of Wall Street clips. So.
Yeah, fashion or like t-shirt building in that regard so many times. And like, it's tough. It's really tough. And it was like, it wasn't stressful. It was just like, what's the word I'm looking for? It was... not anxiety. It wasn't stress because stress is more or less.
It was like confusion and like you're just like, well, you're not very hopeful because you're like, well, what?
Yeah, and we also tried that again. So we went through the rigmarole again of doing this.
Rigmarole.
I know I'm bringing back some words here. But we went through that 3 months prior or whatever it was, and we tried that, and obviously it didn't work. But when we made a video that was concise and entertaining. And we really thought about the process, it turned out really well. It was
better than all the other little ones combined. Yeah. And
we should have been focusing on that. And like the problem was that video that we're talking about did really well, right? Of course. And then then it turns into, we need to recreate this video the same way, but do 3 videos at the same time. And it's like, no. We need to focus on one video and focus on like, how does this work? Because you can do AR photography, but not know how to do it and or like explain it better and like talk about, like, really test it out. And we didn't really test those out. Like, we had to be more scientific. I feel like I'm saying a lot here, but I'm just trying to explain this to just not to us, but to the audience who's listening about, like, YouTube and stuff like that. And, like, just make a good video.
Well, yeah, we were trying to do stuff that we thought was trendy, but that we didn't know anything about. So we're like, oh, well, let's just learn about it real quick. And
it wasn't really trendy because people didn't want that. Like, the thing people want, like, to get to the next level of every fucking thing. Look at Hermosi, right? Hermosi talked about, like, gym stuff, I think, at first. Or, like, how to...
Yeah, like being a gym owner.
Being a gym owner. Now he's talking about, like, now he has acquisition.com, and he's acquiring businesses, and he's talking about how to increase your potential earnings in your 30s or whatever it is. And then it's like, well, he grew. He went from this stuff to this stuff. Like,
he's not like, well, the gym owner niche worked for me, so I'm just going to stick to the gym owner.
Especially as an entrepreneur, like, YouTuber, you want to, like, not stay in one lane.
Exactly. Like, don't expect this channel to just be AI tools and shit. Like, it's a film-based thing.
Yeah, film-based thing.
It might pivot to...
It's about a bunch of things. It's about the content creation as well, too. So it's not... We're bringing it all around to what tools can help you. So that's in that regard.
And right now, this is interesting to us, and we're using it.
Yeah, and we're talking, and I think talking it out and stuff like that, and describing it, and, like, even that, like, you look at, like, the like, even your titling has to be unique too. It's like, you can't, like, you have to kind of it's the whole story, right? So, like, I thought about the thumbnail already. I thought about it, like, I forgot it now that I wanted to tell you about it, but I thought about it. But obviously the title of the video is going to be Opus Clip versus Wise Cut. That's straight to the point, because if someone sees Opus Clip on TikTok, they're going to type it in, or Wise Cut. It's the easiest shit.
Like 2019 YouTube, 2020 YouTube would be like,
but this is
the secret AI editing program that you didn't know you needed.
But this video specific for search.
Yeah.
So this is a specifically searched video, but, like, the next one would be like if I put a vlog on there, it's like, hey, like, I think the video is gonna be like the vlog 3. Like, I know in my mental space what vlog number it is. I don't care what other people think, search wise or whatever it is. But it's like self. What was the fucking topic I was talking about? Like a self. Oh my god! Now I gotta look it up. Thank you. No, keep talking.
Well, I started making videos when I was in 6th grade. I remember my teacher was like, "Hey, you wanna?" We're like, "Oh, you can write a report or you can make a video." And I was like, "Well, duh, I'm not writing a report.
Who wants to do that,
dude?" Yeah. So I was like, I grabbed my friend AJ and I was like, "Hey, let's make a commercial for Tippmann paintball guns." And I shot him up with a paintball gun, and we're just like,
"There you go.
Here's our video." And then I was like, "This is sweet."
So going back to me, I found it. But self-doubt, right? So like, I'm gonna name this like episode right now. I have it as episode 3, self-doubt. Like, but probably like self-doubt of a videographer or something like that. So like, not really searchable, but at the same time also.
That's an explore page.
It's an explore page, right?
Like, ooh,
it's a browse page. I
needed that.
Yeah. So like, you have to think about how you word stuff and shit like that too.
And what the purpose of the video is too. Like when you want to know the answer to something, Opus. Or Wise.
I don't know about Wise Cut yet because I haven't used that. Haven't used it yet. I only found it through Facebook ads. Yeah. So we are kind of curious of what that whole thing is. So I only can go off of Opus because I have it, but I want to test Wise Cut because it's always fun when you go, I got that, and then it's like the next day you're like, what? What is this?
Yeah,
what
is this thing?
Yeah,
literally.
So see what happens.
Well, this was a very
fun podcast.
Very fun impromptu podcast with not much organization. So it's a nice task to give the editing AI.
But it has some organization because we talked about YouTube as a whole and all that stuff. So I think there's something that's
I'm so excited to see how they're gonna edit it.
Yeah, right. So it should be interesting. But thank you, Cody, for being on the podcast.
Of course,
it was a pleasure.
I love it. We should do it every day.
Well, I don't know if we can do it every day. You're not here every day. You don't live here. But,
I'll move in.
Oh, okay. On to the next one. Bye.